Laptop computer spins onto the screen, opens, and displays ATP Education Program webinar series, closes, and then spins off the screen.
Math apps for the emergent math learner. Emergent math skills. So when we start working with students who are just beginning or that emergent math, we're really looking at the development of those emergent math skills because it's essential for all students at all levels, because it is the springboard for a lot of skills, not only in math but in daily life. So we really want to make sure that we have the tools in place to develop those emergent math skills, so then we can move on to those basic math skills, and depending on what route a student takes, whether they go further on into math, into more advanced math skills, or they go into daily living where they're going to utilize some of the math, it's very important that we develop those emergent math skills. And when we talk about the emergent math skills, we're talking about numbers and counting, developing a concept of patterns, the ability to be able to do sorting and classification, the ability to do comparisons and measurements, and then basic geometry, learning those basic shapes. So when you start looking for apps in any apps whatsoever, but when you start looking for maps in the area of math, you want to take a look at certain things to evaluate how they're going to work for you and for your student. First of all, you want to make sure, especially when you're working with students who are working in emergent math or emergent literacy, you want to make sure that the apps are friendly and easy to navigate for the student. So the buttons you want to take a look at are going to be bigger. It's easy to understand how you're going to navigate through the app. It's very obvious where you're going to go to a next page or answer or touch on something on the screen. Next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have relevant content. One of the things that is very important is that it is relevant content to what you're teaching. And I always go back to, are you tying this to a goal or an objective in an IEP or the goal and objective of those class? So what are you looking at? You're looking for that relevant content that is relevant to what you're teaching. The third thing, which is very important to me, is it customizable? Can we customize the settings to meet the needs of the students? And we'll show you some good examples of that in just a little bit. Now, not all apps do this, but the ability to be able to do data tracking. Because you're interacting with the screen, it's collecting that data somewhere, or that data is at least able to be stored somewhere. Are you able to get at that data to evaluate it rather than having to manually keep track of the data yourself? The next thing is gamification. Is it in a game format? Again, we know with today's kids, we need to be able to keep their attention, and gamification does that. So if they are learning and it's in the form of a game, you have a win-win for that student. Next thing that I usually typically look for is scaffold learning. Does it build upon skills as you go through? Is there a logical order the way these skills are developed? Are they, once you develop a skill and learn a skill, is the next skill based on what you've previously learned? So I really look for apps that allow for that scaffolded learning. And also if a student gets stuck, they can go back to a previous step and pick up from a step where they were successful and then go on again once they've mastered that. The next thing is it age appropriate? When we start looking at emergent math apps, a lot of them are really geared toward that, kindergarten, first, second grade level. If you have an older student that is working on those emergent math skills, it's a little bit harder to find an app that is age appropriate for them. There are some out there. There's a lot for when students are younger, but when they get older, it's a little bit more difficult to find an age appropriate app. So I always look for apps that are comprehensive, that cover a wide variety of topics within math. So does it cover multiplication addition and subtraction, all those real basic concepts? Are we working at, grouping and all those different types of things? Does the app give you the ability to be able to do that? I'll show you Attainments app in a second here, because Attainment really is a nice app that really demonstrates the kind of that customization data tracking, as well as that ability to be able to pick and choose and customize, as well as scaffolding. Park Math is another really nice app for that. And School Monkey Preschool Lunchbox is a good app to work on some of those basic skills also. So I'll show you a couple of those real quickly here. This whole list is going to be in your handout. So let's go into the Monkey Toolbox, or Monkey Lunchbox, I should say.
Monkey Preschool Lunchbox! This monkey wants 2 of each kind of fruit. Can you match the fruit? Cherry, plum, grape, plum,
So
cherry,
as we go through,
Honeydew,
cherry,
honeydew.
so there we're looking at matching. So we're looking at the content.
touch all the orange,
So
fruit,
now we're working on colors.
orange, great job! This monkey wants 2 bananas. 1, 2 bananas.
Way to go!
Pick a sticker.
So you're looking at, it's a gamification because it's looking for the sticker, but it's also working on several different skills. So you're not stuck on just working on one separate skill. You're kind of putting it together in a comprehensive way. So the next one is going to be Attainments Number Sense. So a number sense will allow you to be able to set up individual users. So I can actually set up several different users. When I go into my settings, the little gear there, you'll see I will have the student set up. When I go into my settings, you're going to see that I have a lot of settings that I can work with. So there's a practice mode and the ability to do testing if you want to do it. You can set how many questions, intervals, all those different things. You can get rid of animation and different types of awards also. But when we go into the activity settings, you'll see that there's really a robust settings panel that you can get to. So if I only want to work on money and time this time, I can get rid of all of those and only work on just 2. Let's not even work on money. Let's do words for numbers, and let's do counting. If I go further into counting, you'll see that I can actually go into count by 100, show me counting, and I can actually select the number range that I want to work on. I can actually have it pictures or shapes, whatever I want to be able to do. So there's a lot of customizations that you can go into. And let's take away that and that and that, because we're not going to work on that at this time. I'm going to go to OK and OK, and we're ready to go. And you'll see I only have 2 of those to choose from. And as I go through, it's going to keep track of this for the student. So let's go into counting real quick.
Show me 8 squares.
Okay, just to show you on the customization on how this works, I can actually go back in here and I can actually go into my usage and I can take a look at the number sense and how that was done and everything like that. So that's number sense for the student. Let's go back out over here and we'll go on to the next one. Oops. The Autism Dtt Numbers, that's a really nice one also, working on numbers and counting. So when I go into that one, if I go into there, into here, so when I go into numbers and counting, you're going to see that I do have a lot of configuration that I can do in this one also. I can choose the cards that I want them to work with. I can work on the settings however I want to that. Maximum amount of trials, how many interviews, how many intervals, how many cards that are there, different voices, and as well as I can go in and customize what I want for correct answers, what type of rewards, incorrect, and when they're finished. So that's DTT, and we'll continue on. That's Autism Dtt Numbers. Actually, Autism Dtt does a lot of different ones. It's discrete trial trainer setup. Numbers, other more numbers and counting apps, Montessori boards, virtual manipulative, 10 fingers, 1 to 10, up to 100. Patterns, there's a really nice set of apps in a lot of different games that work on patterns. I like Ingenie, and let's see if I can get that up. So here we are in Genie. Okay, so let's go into
Pattern.
Okay, so I can actually go through and select the patterns that I want to work. So they would actually have to do the pattern. So this is basic sequencing. This is what we want to do.
What comes next?
Okay, very simple. So it works on that basic patterns. One more. Okay, and as they go further on, you can actually change what you want your patterns to look like, change the complexity of it as they go through, so we can scaffold on what they've learned with that. It doesn't keep track of it in there, but you can see there's a wide variety of skills that they can work on. So that's called Ingenie. The next one, money apps, dollars and cents. There's some really nice dollars, which is just basically identifying coins and dollars. There's Jungle Coins, Count Money, and Money Math are several of the apps that are available out there. Again, dollars and cents is made by Attainments, so you have that customization that you can go through with that. Time, telling time is matching time to do, telling time, photo touch games, and little matchup tell times. Again, there's a lot of different apps that are available for working on just that basic time, and then the customization as how precise you want to get with that. Other one is what time is it, Mr. Wolf? What time? Jungle time, and interactive telling time. Geometry apps, some of the basic ones that are out there, just work on patterns and shapes. So we take a look at Montessori geometry, pattern shapes, GeoBoard, shapes and geometry, and shapes for kids. And the shapes for kids is just a flashcard set for kindergarten teachers, so kids that are working on that emerging math. Attribute apps, and this is where you do some sorting with some different attributes. And there are quite a few of those that are available out there. The one I like is Attributes by Math Doodles. It's a nice app for working in a kind of a fun environment for that. Let me go bring that up. Let's go into let's see if I even have it in here. So I'm going to Attributes. There it is. Okay, so again, you just do stacking. There's a bunch of different activities in here, as well as combo tables, find it, patterns, sequences, Venn diagrams. So as they get into those basic math and some of those advanced ones, this app will actually take care of it. So I go into stacks. So you can go ahead and, okay, so it's that basic sorting. Okay, so again, because of time, we're just going to continue on, but that one is called Attributes by Math Doodle. Okay, if you want to make your own apps for students, Bitsboard, flashcards, and games is a great way you can create your own activities and your own games, as well as download ones that other teachers have already made, and they go across all different levels. So it's basic identification, basic number sense, those types of things. As well as matching, all those skills that you want to work on for that emergent math. Futaba is an app for making your own games, so you can actually put your own questions in and create your own games, and 4 students can play against each other. They kind of have a buzzer where they're going to buzz into that also. You can also, there's another app called Special Numbers that works on numbers. And then Keynote, you can actually use the Keynote app to create your own activities. There are also a lot of apps that are made or designed so they're accessible by students who are visually impaired. So here's a whole list of apps that are available for students who are visually impaired. There are quite a few of them out there. So from Free Kids Counting Game to Amazing Coins, counting boards. There's Counting Money, Counting Coins, Counting Bills, K through 12 Money, Math Robot, and Math Melodies. So you can see there are quite a few apps that are out there that will really meet the needs of the students. Again, when you go out and you do a search through the App Store, you're going to see that there are a lot of apps that are available, and sometimes it's really difficult to sort through them. So I actually, like I said, even though the attainment apps are quite expensive, They really do have the ability to meet the needs of the students across the whole math curriculum or the scope of the math that you're working with.
Thank you for watching. For more information on the ATP Education Program, please visit our website at atp.nebraska.gov/education or email us at atp.education@nebraska.gov.